Hey everyone, it's Lydia. Happy Tuesday, Facebook family. I'm popping by to share my day 11. I don't know what day, I lost track of my 30 days to vibrant health videos with you. And today I wanted to talk a little bit about balance when it comes to food, diet, health choices, or food choices, and really talk about getting rid of the food police. Do you know what the food police are? So the food police could be the voices in your own head that you hear that make you feel bad about what you're eating, or they could be what you hear in the media or online or elsewhere. And I used to talk similar to the food police at one point, and I've kind of come to the conclusion that that's not really helpful. And I really strike a pose of balance, which can seem maybe a little more complicated to many people, because a lot of people seem to want rules when it comes to, food. They want to know what's black and white, what's right and wrong, and it's really not that simple. And sometimes you'll hear things like, this food is bad, or sugar is toxic, or you shouldn't eat carbs, and I'm this diet and that diet. And I think it's all very important. It's important for us all to get dialed into what works for us. So if you're hearing things that are stressing you out when it comes to making your own choices about food, you get to kick those food police and those thoughts to the curb. Because really, honestly, getting to a place of peace when it comes to eating is so much more important than, figuring out the perfect way to eat. So, years ago, I probably preached a little bit about things like sugar and how bad it is. And just let's use sugar as an example. I think, kind of framing sugar as the devil or toxic or evil or bad, people aren't really going to hear that well. Some people are going to hear that and tune it out. Some people are going to hear that and get annoyed. Some people are going to hear that and be like, okay, that doesn't make me want to change my habits. Really, rather, the education around, why sugar could be bad is more valuable to someone who's open-minded to improving their health. But, hearing it preached from the pulpit of social media or whatever, could be a little of a turnoff. And I want to take a balanced approach where, sugar doesn't have to be bad or toxic. Currently, and I'm just using sugar as an example, of course, you could fill in the blank with a million other foods a lot of people avoid that because they think they're so bad for them, and they may not be bad collectively for everyone. Really, it all goes back to what works for you, what works for the individual. But just to use sugar as an example, I eat sugar. I put dark, organic brown sugar in my coffee sometimes. Sometimes I might use maple syrup. Sometimes I put honey in my tea. And those are all forms of sugar. But the forms of sugar that they are more wholesome for my body, even though they're sugar. And I'm okay with that. And that works fine for me. I, years ago, used to eat a lot of processed sugar, a lot of junky things that, like, oh my gosh, I would drink soda, I would eat candy. And at the time, I really loved those things. But then my health started to change, and I started to do some research. And that's when I made a decision for myself to reduce those kinds of things in my life. And, I think that's where I found what works for me. And I want to challenge everyone to find what works for you, because you really want to make peace with food in your life, because you're going to be doing this for the rest of your life, eating every day, however many times. And if you're worried or feeling guilty or stressed out about everything that you put in your mouth, you know, this isn't going to help you with your health goals of, you know, creating joy and energy and peace and feeling good in your body. And so I would just say, you know, if you hear the food police, whether it's in your own head or somewhere else, coming from someone else, or some article that maybe you read that's very dogmatic about food, whatever the food may be, it makes it sound like it's the total devil. You know, I would just challenge you to kind of just let it sit and maybe find some information about that that's a little bit more insightful, in depth, and balanced, to help you come to a decision for yourself. You know, because the truth of the matter is there's a million kinds of dietary templates out there. There's tons of foods out there that can be harmful to you. I totally believe that. But when it comes to actually taking action upon that, you know, it really comes down to what you want, what your goals are, and then you need to decide if it's worth it to you to, you know, remove that food or enjoy that food. And so my thought for today is just balance, you know, just balance when it comes to your diet and what you eat every day. I would rather people enjoy their food and enjoy it in a relaxed state, actually have the time to eat a meal, enjoy it, like really enjoy what you're eating. You don't need to hate what you're eating. You don't need to punish yourself with what you're eating. You know, really enjoy it. And that's, to me, is a little more important than figuring out every single solitary food that's good or bad for you. You know, this is a process. This is a process that can take time, and it's very individual. You know, people ask me all the time, well, do you think I should do this diet or that diet or the other diet? And, you know, quite frankly, it takes a little time to play around and figure out what works for each person. I have a personal dietary framework that I offer to my clients. But, you know, we have to kind of play around with it, you know, and so I just offer to you, if you're struggling with this, if you're really feeling conflicted about your food choices, you know, take a step back, just let it all go, take a step back, kick the food police out of your head, don't read anything that triggers you in that way, and just go and enjoy your food, you know, make sure that you feel good when you eat it. And if you're really struggling with this and you need help, you know, that's when you get to, you totally can get some help with someone who will guide you in a balanced way. I hope that was helpful. I was just reading some things here and there, and I hear from clients who are stressed and other people who are stressed about food, this kind of thing all the time. And it really, it's on my heart to help people get to a place where they can just enjoy their food. And it's not such a battle or a struggle or, you know, this emotional roller coaster. So that's all I have for today. I'll totally be talking about this more in the future, so stay tuned. But if you have any thoughts on this, pop them below. I want to hear from you. If you've ever struggled with this, like you feel like, oh my God, I have the food police in my head, or I feel like the food police are everywhere. Yeah, totally. I totally agree with you. I totally hear you. You know, pop a comment below. I want to have a conversation about this. And that's it for today. I'm off to enjoy my hike and figure out what's for our balanced dinner tonight. Bye, guys.